Welcome to Salento with Love, episode 4 of Mississippi with Love. I'm Davide Mengoli and I would like to share with you the developments and what's been happening at the two incredible properties here embedded in the Centro Storico. Now, this particular one is quite dark and we're right in the middle of the afternoon, but I would just like to share some of the things that will make this house, what I call the veins and the arteries of a house, make the house function properly. The most important part was to get the sewer connected to the main road. So the sewer was there, the grid is there, but then you need to connect your property to the actual road grid system. And here, this courtyard, being quite long, made it quite challenging because you really need to have the right inclination, which is about 1 centimeter for each meter. And it's over there, and the bathroom, it's right over there. So you do have about 15, 16 meters, meaning that you really need to dig quite deep. And this is basically this trench, that's exactly what it's doing. But then when you do things like this, you can take also advantage of that and run everything else through there, like the electrical cables can run through. And then when the concrete goes over and everything gets sealed, everything stays under there for, well, whoever comes next, maybe in 100 years down the line again. But AC system put there, and it's important to make sure that you discharge the water. And when you're putting an AC system here, because the kitchen is going to be over there, the water can be discharged right underneath the basin. This little alcove here, we thought, well, if it does fit, what a fantastic way of utilizing that little bit of a space and squeezing a washing machine in there. Well, the electrics, everything is in position, always making sure of having sufficient sockets. We still don't have electricity and Wi-Fi, so you want to be in a position that you can plug things in. Although you can be smart about also the sockets these days. Perhaps you can have a USB socket. So if you forget your charger, but you have your USB cable, you can still charge your phone. And here is where the road splits. As you've seen in video 2, video 3, the space is being created. You'll have a glass frosted door here taking us into the bathroom and a door taking us into the bedroom. Plumbing in the bathroom is being completed. It's pitch black in there, so it's pointless me taking you in there. But everything is there, ready now to actually move to the next level, which is the plastering before the tiling happens. What's happening to the other property? This one is very compact. A lounge area, fitted kitchen, nice sofa, very, very spacious and comfortable bedroom, very, very, very spacious bathroom with a big shower. And then we have a beautiful apartment next door. Should we go and have a look? Very excited about this place and how it's gently getting transformed. Now, although it's just pipes and tubes, I can see it. Now we have a bathroom, and now we have a shower. You can already imagine a screen here with the shower. You can imagine the toilet, the little spray bidet on the side, the basin, everything in a very compact space, and also a beautiful window bringing the light in. In the kitchen, we stick into the plan. There will be an island right there, and the plumbing goes all the way there. And then well, you probably saw it, you remember in episode 3, we used the chimney to bring all the pipe work in there. So everything to do with the plumbing, everything to do with the heat pump, everything goes through there. So sometimes it's also very good to use these cavities if they're there, if they're not going to be used in the future. Well, rather than cutting things and take stability off the walls, why not using something that it's already there? And that's exactly what we've done. You see these set of stairs? Well, I think just like every site has that one thing that gets you to lose some sleep or thinking and coming around the idea. Now, this set of cast iron stairs were probably built, I would say, around about the turn of the century, 1900, 1910, maybe 1920. And they are absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, the spike that was actually used to fix this metal strap here, this barrier, is actually cracked every single step. And when I say crack, I mean literally split open. And I must admit, I've been thinking about many ways of saving the stairs because I think they are an incredible feature. And so a little compromise, we need to put a support under there to actually make sure that everything is safe. Although these are all self-sustainable steps, each one of them goes inside the wall for about 15, I would say about 10 inches at least, 15 to 20 centimeters, and it's a solid block. And each one of them is sitting on top of the other one. But unfortunately, some of them have lost their integrity so much. So putting a support under there will actually give us all the support that is needed to keep it into place. Then more about each individual step. How can it be fixed? Come with me. So, as you can see, that's the original step under there. And this is all concrete and pebbles and everything that was put on probably in the 1940s, maybe earlier, maybe when this was fitted. They decided to give this a little bit more modern look. And graniglia, which was this mix of cement, which was then polished, was very trendy. We go through these trends. It was very trendy. So they decided to fix it by putting all of those elements then, render the front so you don't see the stone in the front, and then put this slab of graniglia over the top. Now, if you remove everything, and that's exactly what I've done on a Saturday afternoon when I'm by myself and I can think. So I've removed all of that and I've got to the original step. Can you see the wearing of the step? This is worn out because over the century, maybe even before the railing was here, these stairs were already here. And thousands of times going up and down, and the stone is actually been worn out. And so that's why they've built that up. But then if I remove this big chunk, you actually get to see that big metal going in there. And do you know why each individual step is actually broken? Well, I mean, a lot of you probably that are watching the channel, they already know the answer. Say, Larry, I know the answer. Yes. The reason is because when metal gets in contact with water, it starts to rust. And when it rusts, it expands. And it expands at a point that can literally break stone, concrete, anything. It was actually one of the reasons why bridges need constant maintenance, because if the metal that was used in the concrete gets water, that's exactly what happens. And sometimes you think, but how does the water get to the metal? Well, sometimes the water doesn't get to the metal, but sometimes what happens when they pour the concrete, that there is a little bubble of air in the concrete, and that air contains moisture, and once the rusting process is started, you can't go back, and that's what happens. So the metal rusts, it expands, and literally breaks things open. And it is exactly for that reason that we need to get to each individual one of those metal things, straps, and we need to cut it, and we need to treat the remaining part with a material that it reverts the process, and then put it all back together, and then rebuild a step. So the end product that you'll see here, it's these stairs remaining in exactly the same position without being removed, but that metal, rusted piece of metal that's caused all this damage will be removed, the little part will be treated, and the steps will be reconstructed. Now, do you know that building a new set of stairs will be a lot easier? I'm sure you do, but this is not what I do. Just the idea of preserving, saving, bringing to the future or a next generation something that was here, something that was fabricated by an artist, a craftsman, that doesn't exist anymore today. Well, that's exactly what I do. So whenever it's possible to save something that it makes sense saving, well, then you make sure that you do that. Well, this place is in full transformation. One of the important things here in putting the air conditioning system, servicing the house, was to make sure that the pipe work and everything that was needed, not just from cables point of view, but also from discharging the water, was not touching the floor. These two rooms have an original cementina floor, and the idea really was to save what was originally here. So you can imagine a beautiful door there, bringing an amazing light into this space with a star-shaped ceiling, almost singing really. Well, actually there is a time of the year that there is the singing going on, but those are the birds. And then venturing into the bedroom space, which you have seen before. So all I wanted to point out again, here in choosing where the AC unit needed to be, the call was high or low. And well, a lot of the work that I do, this is like I'm doing it for myself. So it is important for me to think, not just practical, but to think design, to think look, to think energy saving, to think everything that you need to think to make sure that the end result is exactly what it should be. And this is really where a lot of the energy go to sometime. And now that's the air conditioning unit goes up or goes down. Does it really make a difference? Well, then it does. Because sometimes if you put it up, then you're going to have it there in front of you, and maybe in some cases you don't have an option. In the room next door it's gone up, but in here it's a bedroom, and this particular unit here, they need to provide a hot air. Now hot air goes up, so wouldn't it be better if it's possible to put the unit to lower? Yes, because that means that the air doesn't sit at the top, but it's at the bottom already when it comes out of the machine. And in the bedroom, then you don't have a machine that is shooting hot air or cold air on your face. So we put it there, right underneath this window. And this is the bathroom, but I'm not ready to show you the bathroom because it's so beautiful that I think you need to wait a little longer, because sometimes you see pipes and things and you think, oh my God, how's it going to end up? But this is going to be an extraordinary bathroom, just like this is going to be the most amazing bedroom. And just to finish off, on the roof terrace, well, do you remember the incriminated chimney breast? It's not doing anything, that chimney anymore. It was just dead there, you know, he had a lid on the top. Well, now it's actually serving a purpose. All the pipework goes through there, and he's serving everything that he needs to do without cutting into the walls. And then just behind me here, if we go around to the other side, we've actually brought over hot water, cold water in a waste, suspended in midair. No, it's not suspended in midair. We're actually going to grow this wall here, and this will be a fantastic place to have a little kitchen. Now, on the original drawings, the water in the kitchen was going to be on this side of the wall, and I decided to switch it on this side. Sometimes it's not what I decide, but you really have to make a good call. Now, when it comes to anything that is fluid, water, gas, which is liquid, well, if you run it into your party walls with your neighbors, you may encounter some issues. So in Italy, you make sure that you follow the rules when you're doing this refurbishment, because the last thing you want after you're finished is that you need to rip your wall open to take things out. So make sure that you do that. Sometimes there is a little bit of a leeway, but when you can, wherever you can, just make sure that you do that, and it's a good code of practice, really. So switched it over for a little bit of an effort of building a little wall here, which is actually good because the machines are going to be there. So by building this wall, you're not going to see the AC machines and everything else, the technical stuff that is happening there. So it actually works in our favor, keeping everything pretty tidy here. And then we've got the rest of the rooftop, which is absolutely fantastic.
With the golden hour.
With a golden hour. Well, soon it'll be the golden hour. Anyway, episode 4 is coming to an end. I think it's fantastic. We're almost getting towards the end of the year. It's been an extraordinary year. Mississippi with Love was one of those sites that was started with a huge amount of love. We'd like to maintain that love all the way through. And the end product really is going to be absolutely stunning. And it's just beautiful to see how some of those elements that belong in an ancient past, sometimes 100 or more years old, can complement. They can just be part of it. They're not going to be shouting too much. They're not going to be quietly sitting in the corner. They're just going to be complementing the new elements that are going to come together. So an amazing way of bringing a project together. And once the project is finished, 2 houses. How good is that? So fantastic. So I'm very happy with this. Coming to the end of the year, we still have almost, well, I wouldn't say summer, but 20 degrees. It's just absolutely amazing. And the golden hour, as Ludovica just said. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode 4 of Mississippi with Love. And just make sure that you subscribe to the channel, press the little bell, and most important thing, you stay safe wherever you are.